So this video I didn't think I'll be making a year back. So this video is about me moving away from the Fujifilm X mount system, as you would have seen from the title of this video. Now this video is by no means any way to say you shouldn't shoot Fujifilm or someone else shouldn't shoot Fujifilm. It's just my personal experience with Fujifilm, and I'd like to clarify that as a camera, the XS20 had everything that I would probably want in a camera. Okay, there was nothing wrong with the camera in terms of what it stood for and what capabilities it had. Okay, there was nothing wrong with that. The problem I had was with the brand and the direction that the brand was going in. So 2 years ago, on 19th July 2023, when I first bought the Fujifilm XS20, to me at that time it was, and it is to an extent today, one of the best cameras you can get under 1.5 lakh Indian rupees or 1500 US dollars. But that said, if I take you back to a video of mine, I had said that one of the cameras is a better camera than this one, or rather this one, but I mean XS20. So there was one camera that I mentioned which I felt was better than the XS20, even though I was the person who was using the XS20. And that's the camera I'm shooting on right now. I will not tell you which camera that is, that's for the next video. But in this video, I just want to talk about my experience with Fujifilm and what made me want to switch over from Fujifilm to this brand and this model. So number one was how the brand treated the XS20 and the XT5, XH2, XH2S, all of this. So when I got the XS20, the autofocus was pretty good. If you see my old autofocus videos, you would see that the autofocus was very good. Now where it came problematic was in 2024, or rather mid 2024, there was an update. It was a major update across all the models of Fujifilm that they had, or the newer models at that time, and they ruined the autofocus system. And it was just before my lifelong dream trip to Spiti Valley, which is a mountainous Himalayan region in India. And in that trip, there were so many vlogs, there's so many moments where, I just didn't have anything in focus. The camera was hunting, and it really didn't sit well with me. I had gone to the Hornbill Festival, I had vlogged with it, I had shot with it, and till then there was no issues with the camera. It's only that the brand caused that issue, and then they never publicly admitted that that was an issue. And 1 year later, that is in 2025, early June 2025, they still didn't fix the issue. My XS20 or whoever has an XH2S, XT5, XH2, or whichever cameras were impacted by that autofocus update, it never got back to what it was when I first bought the camera. And that to me is unacceptable. I cannot have a brand ruin the camera that I bought and then act like nothing has happened. So right when I'm recording this video, so today is 22nd, so this was on 21st July. So I'm recording this in 22nd July, and in 22nd July, Fujifilm announced an update across all of its cameras. None of it is related to autofocus. None, zero. And I'm not saying autofocus should be the only reason that you buy a camera, okay? But it sure damn is one of the reasons, because when I bought that camera, I bought it for one of its capabilities, which was very good autofocus. So that clearly didn't work out. So that was a bummer for me. Okay, Now coming to the next step, right? So another thing where I really dislike the brand going is it was diversifying its portfolio of products. So you have the XS20 and the XH2S priced around 60 to 70,000 difference in Indian currency. So that is around 60 to 70 US dollars. So that's the difference between the XH2S and the XS20, and in some cases the difference can go up to even for that matter, sorry, not 60 70 dollars, my bad, $600. Okay, so anywhere either from $600 all the way to $1,000 also, the difference between the XH2S and the XS20. So that's fine. But if you see the difference between an XT52 versus an XT5, there's not really a difference. And then between the XT5 and the XH2, not much of a difference, and we are getting what exactly? Another thing was that, okay, and I mentioned this previously in my video also, that it being a vlogging camera had terrible stabilization.
I think these are peaches or something. These are peaches. It's a peach tree.
And another hint I'm going to give you about the camera that is shooting me right now has tremendous stabilization. It is by far, if not the most stabilized, or rather has one of the most effective, if not the most effective IBIS in the entire camera industry currently. So that's the camera I'm shooting on right now. You can write it down if you want which camera it is, or take a guess. Anyways, leaving that aside, so one of the other issues that I ran into, like I was mentioning, was them broadening their lineup and then releasing cameras which didn't make sense, like for example the XM5, then the XT52, then the X half. I mean, come on, you are not able to fulfill demands of certain cameras that you already have. You clearly are not focusing on the existing cameras that you have, because they don't seem to be properly functioning, even remotely close to how they were functioning when the user first bought it, me and a lot of other users. So that was clearly going on. So, and then you're launching new cameras, doesn't make sense. And the final thing that really I didn't have a good taste in my mouth was, there was a free service camp arranged by Fujifilm at GP Pro Camera Store, New Delhi, Lajpat Nagar. And there, when I went to get my XS20 free service camp, somehow they messed up the screen of my camera, right, the back LCD, and I'll show the footage to you what was going on here. And it was an intermittent issue. It was not an issue which would be repeatable in a lot of cases. Like it was coming and going, and after I put this on the main Fujifilm group in India at least, and good job on Fuji in this part, they reached out to me the next day. They told that, sir, can you please come to our office here and get it checked? And I was like, sure, that's great. That's something I can definitely do. So I took a leave. From my own work, traveled nearly 40 kilometers to Fujifilm's office, only for them to then say that since the issue can't be replicated here, hey, when it replicates, then come to us. My warranty was getting over in 2 days, 2 or 3 days, something like that. And you couldn't even take a look at it when I clearly showed it to you I mean, not at that time, but in my phone it was there. I had video proof of that happening. At least out of courtesy, you could have taken a look in at the LCD that whether everything was right, whether anything was wrong. That's a basic level of courtesy that you need to show to your customer, Fujifilm India. I'm sorry, if it's global, then it's global. And that's the day I decided that enough is enough. I dealt with a bad autofocus system. Even before dealing with a bad autofocus system, there were a few compromises I made. The stabilization was not that great. So that was one. Secondly, the body was not weather sealed. The camera I'm shooting in now is weather sealed to an extent. Third, Fujifilm had at that point absolutely horrendous stabilization unless you pair, I mean, for vlogging and stuff, except if you pair it with the 18 to 55, which I had. So all of these trade-offs I was willing to make because as a brand I believed in Fujifilm, and as a camera I believed in the XS20. Even though I don't have the XS20 anymore, but as a camera I still believe in XS20. I love the camera and I wish I didn't have to sell it, but the point was Fujifilm as a brand made me sell that camera. Their lack of competence to correct the autofocus that they themselves wrecked, to the incapability to address very core features of a camera. For example, most of their lenses, aren't parfocal. So when you zoom in and zoom out, you lose focus. I mean, you are telling me that your lens costs like 1 lakh rupees and you can't even make parfocal lenses? Are you kidding me? Like the camera I'm shooting right now, it has that brand, it has lenses, although it's in the upper tier, they have lenses which have they're perfectly fine. If you zoom in, zoom out, they will focus. They'll keep that focus locked on whether you're zooming in, zooming out. And Fuji couldn't release that update for their, modern, all great lenses. And don't get me started on the exposure stepping, the hissing noise that's in the base floor of videos. All of these things I was willing to live with because of what the XS20 offered to me as a camera. But Fujifilm slowly, again, the direction the brand was going, becoming a lifestyle brand, not a photography, videography brand, that really then set me back, and I was like, it's time to move on, and I moved on to this camera. So far, everything that the XS20 lacked, this camera has. Everything the XS20 offers, almost everything is offered by this model of the camera that I'm using right now. Almost all of them, barring a few. And most importantly, I can rely on this camera in tough situations. And I'll give you instances in the next video. But yeah, that's why I moved out of Fujifilm. If you're happy with Fujifilm, if you're happy with Sony, Nikon, Panasonic, Olympus, whatever, okay, that's fine. This is just my side, and I've talked to people, they have similar experiences with Fujifilm. Unfortunately, they're too deep into their ecosystem to take that hit, understand. So I bought it for 1.5 lakhs. I had to sell it for 88,000. So that's not a lot of money that I sold it for, but luckily I got a great deal by one of the officials of the company whose camera I'm shooting in right now. So yeah, overall, the deal wasn't that bad. And yeah, that's it about this video, why I moved away from Fujifilm. And yeah, that's it. I still love the 18 to 55 kit lens. I really hope that there would be an adapter for me to adapt certain lenses I had for Fujifilm into this mount that I'm on right now. But yeah, that's not to be, unfortunately, and that's why I had to sell the lenses. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next video where I talk about the camera that I have right now, and some very beautiful shots and videos that I've already taken with this. And right on the onset, I like it. I like it more than I thought I will. But yeah, definitely it's so far delivering according to expectations, if not more. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.